J&R Sports Lounge.
This is the J&R Sports Lounge. No scripts, no filters, just straight sports talk. Episode 12 starts right now.
J&R Sports Lounge.
Welcome to the J&R Sports Lounge. I'm your host, Joe Husar. This is my co-host, Randy Curry. It is really busy week in sports, and all of a sudden, the rest of this week has gone really crazy. I know we say no scripts and no filters, right? And
Okay.
so, not that we have scripts, but usually we just come to the show with like topic ideas.
Sure.
And then we kind of just talk about those ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday I'm sitting around and I'm like, we're texting back and forth, and I'm like, what are we going to talk about today? Obviously the NFL draft, we talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's something else that we can discuss here? And then all of a sudden, the Boston Red Sox come into the picture and fire Alex Cora.
Yes.
And give us a great topic to discuss right off the bat.
I know it's crazy. They stuck with him, through the suspension. You would think he would have a longer leash on this, to start off this year, but apparently not. They were ready to move on. Maybe there were some harbored feelings there, about everything. But it wasn't only him. There were other.
Yeah, there was
people, right?
there was 5 coaches that were let go, and I don't know their names, because I don't follow the Red Sox to like that
Right.
level detail. If you ask me the players, I know them, but I don't know
Right.
every single like bench coach and like third base coach and all these guys. But they did fire their 2 hitting coaches. They got rid of their bench coach, and then they got rid of one other guy. Not their pitching coach. He stayed. But they also Jason Varitek also had a position within the team, and he's like some special game coordinator or something, and they reassigned him to a different position within the Sox. And then what they did is they reached out to Chad Tracy, their AAA manager, and he will be managing the team for the rest of the season.
Chad Tracy, he was a baseball player,
He was.
right? Third
So I-
baseman? Sounds like a third
I want to say he
baseman.
was a catcher.
Okay.
I think
Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks are the
Feels
team that
right.
like comes to mind also
Okay.
for me.
Wow.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
Okay.
So Chad Tracy's going to be their manager for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The first thing that I thought of when I heard this news, first of all, was shock, because
Right.
it happened. 2 things happened. The Red Sox just won 17-1 that day yesterday. They beat the Orioles 17-1.
Well, was it did the news? Who was the manager at the time? Was it Cora, or was it
Yeah,
the new?
no, Cora. This
interim?
happened after the game,
Wow.
and so they won 17-1.
So it's not as if they even thought, well, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we need to, take pause. I guess their minds were made up.
I guess they were ready to move on with this whole thing. And then the other thing is this happened less than 30 games into the season.
Right.
Like the Sox are, after that win yesterday, they're now 10-19. Shitty record, I know. Obviously, like that's towards the bottom of the American League, and honestly, that's towards the bottom of the records in all of Major League Baseball. They're
Right.
down there with the Phillies, who we'll get into in a few minutes too. But they, I'm just shocked by the timing. Like, if you're going to fire a manager this early, just do it before the fucking season starts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it almost seems, too, you want to find out what the team is made of, what the manager is made of, after they get through this a little bit. It almost seems like you would want to have a little bit of success, kind of really just kind of focus in on, like, what do you think are the reasons for this? Because
Yeah.
at this point, I'm sure their heads are spinning. They're probably not really sure what's going on. Roman Anthony's having a hard time. They fired the hitting coach. There's probably other hitters that are struggling, obviously, with that record. Pitching isn't going great.
Right.
It just seems like now would be time, because I'm sure they didn't expect this. A lot of teams, a lot of people had them projected to do well within
Right.
this difficult division. It almost seems like now it's time to like get critical, not like all of a sudden decide I've had enough. It almost seems a little bit quick. I'm on the same page as you.
When we did our over-unders episode, for the win totals, I said that the Red Sox, I thought were going to have a surprisingly bad year this year.
Man, you've been on it.
And the thing is I can't really put my finger on why this is happening, though. I mean, if you really look at their roster, they're built pretty well.
Right.
They have good starting pitching. They have really good hitters. I know they have a good mix of like veterans, young hitters,
Right.
guys with a ton of potential. Duran obviously is a good player. They have
Willie Abreu.
Willie Abreu,
You got
I think,
Roman
is a good
Anthony
player.
on the
Roman
team.
Anthony. Yeah, I mean, they have a nice little lineup. They have good pitching with Garrett Crochet, who has been struggling at the beginning of the season.
That's a big thing.
He did have one good game though, like pretty recently. I think his most recent start was a good one, but I mean, he hasn't really been like the Cy Young caliber Crochet that we're used to. I'm just so surprised. Like moves like this don't happen this early in the season.
Right.
Like this is very unheard of.
Well, the fact that Crochet has had a hard start almost adds to the curiosity as to why they would get rid of Cora so soon. It's not like Cora specifically, and all those coaches and players within the organization really have like that much of a hand in Crochet's start. He is the leader of the team. If it almost seems like once he gets going and the team kind of rights itself, players kind of work through their struggles, and you see how they respond to that. Then it's time to really think about moving on. But I don't really understand why you would stay with the manager so long through the suspension, and then can him at this point.
And now that hindsight being 2020, now that I look back at his tenure, right? He did have the suspension, obviously, from when he was a player with the Astros, and he was a player then, right? Yeah, he was a player with the Astros for that suspension about the cheating scandal and all that stuff, and then they stuck with him.
He was a manager.
He was a manager.
Right.
He wasn't. I'm thinking Beltran is the guy that I'm thinking is like on the managerial cusp, but he was a player on that team.
Gotcha.
But they stuck with him through the suspension, and now that I'm looking at it, though, was he really that great of a manager for them? Honestly, I mean, when he came in, he came in to manage them in 2017.
Talking about with the Astros or with the
with the Sox.
Okay.
He came in at the end of the 2017 season to start with them, and then he won the World Series the first year that he was there in 2018. Right. Is that really his team? Like those players were already there. Like I know that he probably had to put like a little bit of his like sprinkling of his magic and his coaching onto it. But you know how I look at it in a similar light to, like, I don't know how this is going to resonate with you, but when UConn won the championship with Kevin Ollie, in 2014, it was technically with all Jim Calhoun's players and like all his recruits. You know what I mean? And like. So you had to do like some coaching, but you already have a great recruiting class,
right? I mean that's a great comp. It's as far as the integrity of what we're discussing here, I think that's almost a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
I think you can't really take that much away from the guy who was managing, who was at the helm of the decision making, of just kind of the setup of the practices, the orchestration of everything. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, even if Jim Calhoun stayed that year, would they necessarily have won? We can't guarantee that.
That's true. I mean,
so it's kind of interesting.
And the fact is that they did win with Cora.
Right.
So you can't, like, I know it may be somebody else's players, but he was the architect of that win,
right?
Like that championship.
He brings a sufficient level of expertise on that level, for that at least, the ability to go ahead and take these set players and take them all the way to a championship.
So the only reason why I bring that point up specifically is because all the talking heads, and we are the talking heads also at this point, but all the talking heads are saying that Cora won't be out of a job for very long because he's a great manager.
Yeah.
And so my thinking here is that, and I guess that's what made me start thinking about going down that lane. Like, is he really that great of a manager if he was coaching somebody else's players? But will he find a job very quickly?
I do think so. It seems like even before he became a manager, even as a player, you were hearing things about him becoming a manager, being a great manager one day. He almost seemed like primed for that role. So he's probably developed a lot of relationships, a lot of credibility, even a lot of aura. As far as being a manager in the bigs. I think some team, it only takes one, is going to see it as an opportunity to get a World Series winning manager on their squad. I'm
like I said, I bet the Red Sox on the under for their wins for the total for this year. I don't remember what the number was, maybe 83 or somewhere in that range. I bet them on the under, and they could still hit that number. I mean, you never know. Like, maybe this like shakes the team up and gets a lot of the players thinking that we have to perform in order to make sure we don't get cut or traded or whatever it is.
Right.
But there's still something about the makeup of this team that, like, it's like looking at the Mets and the Phillies. right? Like, I mean, those
Sure.
are two teams that
I mean-
are significantly underachieving at this point, right?
Both have had double-digit losing streaks.
In April.
Yeah.
And yet, you still
They
don't
still
count
have
them
their-
out. You still don't count them out as like
Right.
legitimate contenders, even though all three of these teams look like shit.
Right. And there's other teams that look like shit, early on. I mean, the Giants look like hell. I don't know if that much was expected. I wasn't expecting much from them.
The Giants probably are where
Okay.
they were supposed to be. Pat Bailey hit his first home run the other day.
Good. That's great.
That's nice.
Tim's neighbor comes through.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are struggling out of the gate. A lot of teams that we didn't expect, even if we did expect the Giants. Okay, I'll give you that one. But we didn't expect the Phillies, the Mets, or the Red Sox to be having this hard of a time. It's I am surprised that out of all those three, that Cora is the one to go. I think you have to wonder, like, why would they not let him go based on his violations of the integrity of the game?
Like,
But they
cheating.
will let him go in the heat of the moment, like,
Right.
oh, you lost, this many games and we suck already.
Yeah.
We're out of contention maybe, but we're less than 30 games in. I mean, I think that kind of says a lot about the front office there. I don't think it's a good look, honestly. I think they would have looked better if they got rid of him way back then, because then they would look like they were good stewards of the game at least.
He's been with the team for what, like 9 years, 8 years, 9 years, minus the 1 year suspension in the middle. And so he's been like, they've given him a little bit of a leash. Like last year, the Red Sox weren't very good.
Right.
And so he had a little bit of a leash. And maybe they were just thinking, like you said earlier, like maybe they were thinking, let's see how he does in the first month and like reassess like on a month-to-month basis. But I mean, he's been there for a long enough time where like maybe he's earned some credibility
Exactly
to
that.
stay.
Exactly that.
And like ride out the season.
Right.
And then at the end of the season, then see what happens.
Right. They already decided that, you're with us. We're gonna stick this out.
Yeah.
Through your adversity.
They just look
It's
like
gotta
such a
maintain that.
stagnant team though. Like they just look like they have a stagnant offense. I know we're saying this the day after a 17-1 win where like they had an offensive barrage and they scored 10 runs in the ninth inning, but like their offense looks stagnant. They don't look like they have no like punch and fight and like this extra
well, then-
juice. Like they don't have the it factor.
Well, then go ahead and get a different bench coach, or fire the hitting coach and the pitching coach to take out the whole group. Man, that's a statement.
Also, is it normal for teams to have two hitting coaches?
Oh, I didn't realize I had two.
They had two. They fired two hitting coaches. I can't remember either one of their names right now.
That seems obvious. Just get rid of those two dudes.
Yeah.
Bring in somebody. Barry Bonds might
does
be
every
looking for
team
work.
have two hitting coaches? I thought there was just like one guy.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe they're like telling opposite things and they're fucking up the swing
Maybe.
approach for these players. They're pulling guys aside in conference. Hey man, don't listen to that bullshit over there. You're doing great.
I always think that this is funny. Like if you think about it, if a team does have one hitting coach,
Makes more sense.
Well, it does, but also how can that guy be like useful for like all 26 hitters? Like he's spreading himself a little thin. Maybe that's why they have two. I don't know.
Sure, but I mean, teams also have like a common approach too, as well. As far as the way they take pitches or attacker, the first pitch or whatever. But I guess those are changes that are made like within like the context of a season, even the context of a game, or either way. I guess it's okay to have two guys that are coaching the hitters, but
I
it
was just
almost
very
seems like it's
surprised by that.
difficult to, you should at least have a hierarchy, in my opinion. Like you should have one guy where like, and there's like other guys that like tout that same message, that same approach or whatever. And I'm sure these coaches, they don't like take what they know and apply it to every player the same. Obviously, everybody's different.
I mean, not everybody needs like a hitting coach on a regular basis. Like if you're hitting just fine, like who gives a fuck? Like you don't need that guy.
But you're also going to give different advice to different types of players, based on what they need to work on, in general. So yeah, perhaps getting it down to one main dude, one main person would.
One main dude.
Person.
They're not gonna have a female hitting coach.
Why
So-
not? I thought I was the asshole. Now you're the asshole. So thank you.
I mean, I just
Appreciate
don't.
that,
I haven't
bro.
seen any any females
could
yet
happen,
hitting
man.
major
You
in the
have to
major leagues.
acknowledge that.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. Maybe like Jenny Finn. Well, she was a pitcher. Jenny Finn, she was a pitcher.
I'm
so
sure there's good.
She could be a pitching coach, maybe, although she threw underhanded.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess there was a hang up there.
So maybe there's a
So
little bit
it
of
would be
issue there.
more likely if there was a hitting coach
Okay.
than a female.
All right, cool.
Different topic.
You know what's
day.
funny? So I know we're talking about baseball right now, and like we have like music playing in the background. I think people can't really like hear it, whatever.
Right.
But we're listening to this one
like the
specific
vibe,
song, and right now this is a Queens of the Stone Age song.
Nice.
Do you remember when we went to Denver, for James's?
I didn't go because.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
We
I was
went
able
to
to
this
go to
concert.
that. I was able to go to that.
Oh, whoops.
Jack was on his way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I could have sworn you were there.
It was
that was
the
when
biggest
Keith.
miss.
When
you
Keith
all
like
went to
puked
Red
his.
Rocks and everything.
Yeah, we went to Red Rocks to go see Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah,
You didn't come
I
to
was
that.
able to go to that. There's several times that you and Keith and other people like imagine I was there. Which I
Yeah,
appreciate.
because that's like the perfect trip for you to be on with
I
us.
know, right? I know.
Damn.
But it didn't happen.
I was gonna tell you this whole elaborate story about like how I listened to Queens of the Stone Age specifically as a lead up to that trip because I knew we were going to that concert,
Right.
and like they were a band that like I would have thought that you like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a few songs for sure.
So this song came on, and I was like, "Oh man, remember that Colorado trip?" But you weren't even
Yeah,
fucking there.
wasn't even there.
It was when Keith puked his brains out in the middle of Denver.
Yeah, he got like some.
He got a weed
or
lollipop that he
something.
just wouldn't stop fucking eating for
going
you know.
at it.
And I had to follow him into the bathroom, and that was some of the most foul scented nonsense I've ever smelled in my life.
What was the flavor of the can of the?
You would not be able to
lollipop?
tell from the scent of that puke. You would not be able to tell what flavor that lollipop was.
I mean, again, I wasn't there, but I imagine it being cotton
Are
candy.
you sure you weren't there? I could have sworn you were
I
there,
wasn't
dude.
there in the shadows, maybe, but no.
Damn. I know we went to Chicago for yours, but like,
Right.
and went to a Cubs game. The reason why I was gonna bring that up is because I was thinking, I'm like, man, it would have been cool to go to a Rockies game because that's one of the nicer stadiums and like that's one of the nicer venues in all of Major League Baseball. It would have been really cool to go to a Rockies game there. But we did go to a Cubs game when we went for yours,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah, it was
and we
great.
sat in the bleachers.
It was awesome.
That was an amazing experience.
Everything but the Chicago dog. I wasn't a fan of that thing.
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah. It was
There's
like
a tomato on there, a whole like pickle spear. I mean, this.
Well, that's like I mean those are okay. So me and April, my girlfriend, we went to Chicago also. Her brother used to live in Indiana, which apparently is very close to Chicago.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until I went there, and so we went to a very famous specific place where they sell like Chicago dogs, and I want to say it's like Portillo's.
Okay.
Portillo's,
Okay.
right? It's like
I
a
don't
food
know.
hall
Okay.
or something. And actually I actually got an appreciation for the Chicago dog there.
Well, if I
But
went
the one at the
there-
game,
Well, true, and other people might have a different opinion. It was definitely a different version of a hot dog, different than what I'm used to. I like all those ingredients. So if we were at Portillo's or whatever the famous hot dog place is,
Portillo's maybe.
Portillo's,
I think.
then
I feel like maybe I'm
there's a
mixing
good
that up
chance
with
that
like
I
a
would
pizza
have it
place.
again, because I do like to buy into the culture and see what it's all about. And a lot of times you don't like something the very first time you do it, food or other things. So I mean,
I feel like we should look this up to see if that's the name of the place because I
Right.
feel like I went to that place, but maybe I'm thinking no. Okay, we went to go get deep dish one day, and that was at Lou Malnati's,
Right.
which is like a very famous Chicago deep dish place. And I grew up like right outside New York City. Like I fucking love New York pizza.
Yeah.
And I think Chicago pizza sucks.
I see. I also thought the same thing about our deep dish experience, but I didn't want to double down on the Chicago food.
Okay.
Because if I were
Damn,
to go
so
there,
now we hate all their food.
and I don't want to alienate anybody, but if I were to go back to Chicago, I definitely would get deep dish again, and I definitely would get a Chicago dog again, just because I'm there in Chicago.
Why? You didn't like it the first time?
Because
Just to
what
like
the hell else am I gonna get? Some like flat ass pizza? Some
they have like regular food
ketchup and
there.
mustard on my hot dog?
Yeah. like
But
a
I'm in
regular fucking
Chicago,
person.
You know, it almost feels
You don't
like
need sport peppers.
sacrilegious.
Listen, have you ever even heard of a sport pepper before you? Exactly. You ate a Chicago dog and you still don't know what a sport pepper is.
No.
That's what they
Is
put
that
on
in
their
a Chicago dog?
That's what they put on their Chicago dogs. Yeah. That's what they put on their hot dogs.
Is
Something
it a
called
pepper
sport
in
pepper.
there too? Like it's a whole pepper, like they do the whole chunk of tomato. And
No,
whole
it's that.
chunk
It's that. It's that. Yes, but it's that little pepper that they put on top. That little one.
I thought it was a pickle.
Well,
Is
yes,
there
they
a
put a
pickle too?
pickle on it too.
See, look at all this stuff they're throwing in there.
Dude,
you know, I'm
you
a
were
big,
there and you
like,
ate it and you
meat
still don't
to
know it.
veggie ratio or whatever else is in there.
Damn.
I like a little more meat in there. You know, like
Yeah, you do.
pack it in. But as far as
Okay.
you know, I don't know, man. It just seems like there's a to me, and I'm not trying to diss Chicago hardcore, but
You shit on two of their
there's
foods.
a lot of like those are very vibrant flavors. Like there's a lot of like randomness. It seems
Yeah.
just thrown into there. It just seems so random. It doesn't seem like it's inspired by anything. It seems like
Yeah.
you know, like a sixth grader, you know, threw a bunch of stuff
Wow.
together,
Wow.
and then someone was like, "Wow, this is awesome."
That's fucked up.
You know,
No, that's
I don't
pretty
know.
funny though. Listen, I grew up in Connecticut, so like for me, Chicago style pizza is like the worst. Like I grew up in Connecticut near New Haven, and like like modern pizza, Sally's, you know, Frank Pepe's, like those are like that's the shit. Like that's
Be able to fold
pizza.
it, man.
But that's
That's-
New York City style pizza. Like like,
That's what I love.
That New Haven stuff is like burnt on the bottom with like
Okay.
just great flavor, like great sauce, like just really burnt in those
Like a
those
sweet
ovens.
sauce or more of a
You know what? When you come to Connecticut with me one time, like
Okay.
I'll let you try. We'll go and we'll try them out. They actually, so I'm from Fairfield, Connecticut, and like, Pepe's and Sally's, they both opened a second location in Fairfield specifically near my parents' house. So like,
Is this Sally's like Sally?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were just like
yeah, like Sally Perez.
putting a nickname on Sal's because there's a Sal's pizza
No,
in
Sally's.
literally every single town.
Yeah,
every
no.
single city
No, it's
in America.
Frank Pepe's and Sally's,
Sally's,
and
okay.
Modern Pizza in New Haven. But Modern, I'm not sure if Modern has like gone out and I feel like we're like Dave Portnoy over here, like ranking pizzas and shit.
Right. Well, you know, before we get off the food, since I'm not sure if we'll get back to this topic again.
We probably won't.
One thing that I'm very curious about is the chili in Cincinnati. I want to try that shit
Interesting.
sometime. You know, I guess it's on like spaghetti. It's on a bed of spaghetti, and it's their style chili. You know,
What?
so it's. I
They
don't know,
put
it
they
sounds
put chili
interesting.
on spaghetti,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
like hot dog
Used
chili.
to work. Yeah, like that profile. Yes.
Could we also agree that hot dog chili fucking sucks?
Well,
It's
it
like
depends
fucking
on-
diarrhea. It has a consistency of like shit.
Well, you don't want it to be runny for sure. I mean, you definitely want it to be thick.
It's fucking like in my
I
opinion,
love a
I think
chili
it's
dog, man.
fucking gross.
Do you like
No,
a chili
no,
dog?
no, no, no. Okay, I like a chili dog when it's like the chili has like consistency, not
Yes.
this runny bullshit like
that's-
this
no,
watery
no,
nonsense
that's
that like
bullshit.
places put on it.
Right.
And I'm wondering, like, is Cincinnati style like that watery
I don't
rundown
think
shit?
so. I don't think so. I think it's a good thick, a lot of it's like a thick meat sauce type, thick meat chili.
Man,
It's
you're
just,
saying a lot of things right now.
it's just got more of the yeah, I think it's more of a thick consistency. And you drag that through the noodles. Sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, if it's not that watery nonsense, like okay, maybe that could be something. But if it's that watered down like crap,
I'm not sure if there's
wouldn't
beans
eat
in
that.
it either. It might just be meat and sauce type thing, which is basically like spaghetti, but more of a chili profile.
Interesting.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
Like spicy. Remember Strips chili?
yeah, that's
Strips
good.
chili is dope. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I imagine
Yeah,
is
that's
like
good
a
stuff.
sweet and hot sort of mix through that. I mean, Strips chili would be awesome.
I
on
mean, that's
some
good,
noodles.
man. Damn it! Like he says he like, in Goodfellas. I don't know if you ever watched Goodfellas before, but
yeah.
I mean, okay, so they're in prison and they're like cutting the garlic with like a razor.
Yes.
Like that's what
That's
I feel like
picture.
James's chili
Yes.
is like.
No doubt. That's definitely what
Oh, I
he's
fucking
doing.
love that. That's actually like probably one of the best chilies I've ever had.
I think that is the best I've ever had.
I hope James is listening
I
because
know,
that,
right?
that chili
It'd be-
is
it'd be
so
a good time to
fucking
listen.
good. God, make that shit for me.
I know.
All right, so we'll get off the food topic here, and let's talk about let's get back to sports here, and we can talk about the draft a little bit. So we talked about the NFL draft in the last episode, and we talked about we did our mock draft for the top 10.
Yeah.
But now that the draft is actually over, we can kind of we don't have to reassess our picks. I mean, I think you and I, well, you picked Arvell at number 2 for the Jets. And I picked for my Jets. I thought that they would get David Bailey, which they did.
Yeah. You had the
But it
first
could
two
but it
right.
could have been 50-50. I mean, it was very like it's funny because I feel like sometimes I like manifest the commissioner to like say what I
Right.
think that I want them to say.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to say it, but I thought he was going to say Arvel Reese.
Right.
And Arvel Reese didn't go number 2. And in all honesty, I'm a little surprised. And this is one of my surprises for the draft, that he slid all the way down to number 5 to your Giants.
I know. It's crazy. I actually didn't entertain any world in which Reese would be there. I thought he was, the consensus top player that's not a QB.
Like athletically, like as an athlete, just a pure athlete.
Yeah, right. I think perhaps that tweener aspect, that we even discussed on the show about this, maybe that scared some people off. Maybe the Jets preferred that, like, solidified, no doubt, I'm an edge rusher, I am a sacker of the quarterback. That is what Bailey is. I don't fault them for not taking him. The fact that he wasn't taken all the way to the Giants at 5, that is a surprise.
That's a surprise.
And I was actually pretty upset at first because the way I viewed him was that tweener guy, and for our team, for the Giants, I should say, because we are a Charlotte-based show.
No, we live in Charlotte. We still like our own teams.
But
We have a Giants thing over here,
Right.
and we also have Malik Neighbors
Man.
watching over our show for the last 12 episodes.
Who threw in some cryptic tweets by
Did he?
the way about the draft. Yeah,
interesting. We'll talk about that in a
I'll
minute.
talk about that in a
All
minute. But so I was a little upset. We were texting. You knew my opinion. I didn't know where he would play, but really quick on both of the Giants picks.
At 5 and
felt-
10.
Yeah.
Yep.
The comments that Harbaugh made afterwards made me feel so much better about them, especially with Arvel, because they are going to play him at off ball.
Well, so hold on.
So he is
All right.
going to take a starting position that doesn't take away from Abdul and Burns.
So before we get to what Harbaugh's thoughts were, like when you text me, or when we were texting back and forth, and I text you specifically about Arvel
Right.
at 5, and then I also text you at 10. But I text you after pick number 5, and you were very disappointed.
Right.
Not a little disappointed. You were very
Yeah.
disappointed.
I think that had a lot to do with the fact that because I didn't think that he was in play for us at all, I hadn't really watched like a lot of what he did. I mean, I saw him coming off the edge on some plays. He looked good. He's got bend. He's super fast. I just know that I didn't want to get a player because we already have 3 guys that can come off the edge. 2 for sure. Kayvon, 6 years, so 5th year, 4th year? Shit. Anyway, he still has a lot to prove. I think it's baked in that Abdul Carter will be a beast. I know he still has to prove it. Brian Burns is a beast. He's proven it a couple years now.
If Abdul Carter can get past all of his like selfish,
right.
off the field nonsense,
Right.
Showing up to meetings late and whatever.
Right. And, and plus it's also the fact that Styles was right there, at off-ball linebacker. Like,
Yep.
he can cover. He killed it in the combine. He's got speed for days. There's a lot of players that
The amount of-
comment towards his ability at that spot, and like he's still growing and ascending.
Yeah.
I felt like that's a lot to pass up on.
The amount of players that were available for the Giants at that pick, though,
Yeah.
like defensively,
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like Caleb Downs
Yeah.
was obviously
That's what I was pulling
a
for.
high choice. Arvel Reese, obviously, they didn't pass on him. And then you just mentioned the guy that went to the Skins,
Sonny
Sonny
Styles.
Styles. That's 3. Like those are 3. Like it's hard to make a decision on all of those 3.
Right.
And do you think that the Giants picked Arvel at 5 out of like that group of 3 players that they probably could have picked because he has the highest potential and he's the one that slid the furthest?
Yes. There's a couple things. One is that there are some commentators. One in particular, I think it's Connor Hughes, actually. So
From SNY.
I think so. I think it was him. If it's not him, and you don't, and if he's listening, by
I like
any
Connor
chance-
Hughes, actually.
Yeah,
He's good with the Jets.
same.
So,
So if this isn't him, I apologize, but I feel like it was. He actually thinks that he's the best off-ball linebacker in the draft. He likes him more than Styles at off-ball. But it just so happens that Arvel Reese has shown a lot as far as his ability to come off the edge and his ability to rush the quarterback. So for me, I'm very excited to have a guy that can start out at off ball. That's where.
So you've changed your mind.
That's where Parsons was to begin.
Okay.
But there's not going to be room for the Giants to move him down to the edge, really. So I really hope that he does improve as a middle linebacker. Maybe Harbaugh's thinking more Suggs, more Ray Lewis. Maybe he's not thinking, Micah Parsons, who will move down eventually.
And that is his comp, right? Is Michael
Right.
Parsons is his comp.
Yeah. So, I do know that the Giants with Denard Wilson at defensive coordinator, they want to be multiple. I'm excited for what this is going to bring. It could bring a new type of defense, a new approach. If Arvel is able to play the inside linebacker spot and do the things that an inside linebacker has to do other than rush the quarterback, because we really obviously don't think of an inside linebacker as doing that, but also have those chops. If he's able to do those other things, I do know that he's going to be able to get after the back. He's actually very good at the edge. He's not a big guy, but he's better than Abdul Carter at the edge. He's probably going to be better than Burns at the edge. A lot of the stuff I saw when I did look close, because I watched a lot of him after we grabbed him, I really liked him on the edge. And the other thing that was so obvious to me was how violent he is. He seeks violence. He reminded me of LT. I mean, I know that's crazy. But LT looked like he was violent, like he was chopping people's heads off on his way to the quarterback. This guy is violent all the way through. There's some stats that I saw that made sense to the tape that I saw on him, and it was I think and I didn't have anything to compare it to because this isn't like a normal stat, but I guess it's good to only allow, like, his average yards after contact or whatever is only like 2 yards or whatever.
So he's making
he's making solid tackles. He's
making
stopping
good
them in
contact.
in their tracks. He's making solid tackles, and that's what you see on
That's
tape.
an interesting stat. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Same.
Because you always look at yak for an offensive player, but you
Right.
don't look at whatever the opposite of yak is for a defensive player.
But they made it a point to bring that up in what I was looking at, and it just made so much sense on tape. And a lot of times as teams kind of like enter a certain level of performance or whatever, it's different. Stylistically, things are different all the time. We talked about the NBA. Have we talked about them yet?
We haven't talked about the NBA
Okay.
yet.
Well,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit here.
I'm thinking, because you've seen me go like I faded out of watching ball. Now I'm back into watching some basketball.
Right.
Stylistically, things are totally different.
Yeah.
They're entirely different. So that's why in my mind, it kind of makes sense. Defensive schemes change. They evolve over time. Denard Wilson, Jim Harbaugh, these Giants might have a different type of plan. They have a plan. Either way, it's obvious that they do have a plan. They pass up on some talent. They let the other two guys from Ohio State, which I think is an interesting theme that we're going to watch, go to other teams in the NFC East. I can't wait to watch Styles with the Commanders. I can't wait to watch Downs with the Cowboys. Ugh. I mean, I hate that they went there, but
the crazy thing
for me, I think it's fascinating.
I think one of the more interesting things in the draft that happened is that Caleb Downs got passed up by the Giants at 10, and then he went number 11 to the Cowboys, who traded up to get him specifically. And now, instead of the Giants having him, they're going to have to face him for the next 5 years.
Which is, I mean, honestly, I would rather have Arvel and then get Downs. I mean, that would be an amazing addition to.
Yeah.
I mean, what a change in your defense. Yeah. You can do so much different.
Yeah.
But they do have Nubin, who was a second-round pick. Mm-hmm. They have Holland. Excuse me. They have they got a guy who used to be in the Ravens group, Ardarius Washington, who's pretty good. They got Pinnock back, who's been between our two squads.
Yep.
Who's he's a backup. He's a good backup. He's rangy. He's athletic.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a full room in that respect. Obviously, when you have a guy at the caliber of Downs, it's not like you consider these mid players or like even good players as a reason to not get him, because he does look like a generational guy. But I really do like who the Giants got. To me, they got the best offensive lineman in the draft. He's super strong. And, I mentioned before what Harbaugh said as far as how he made comments that made me feel better. They said right away that Maui Goa?
You told me his name last time.
Maui and Noah. Well, I'm
I don't think there's an N in there.
I'm tripping now because I've heard it Maui and Noah more recently. So I think maybe that G is
like silent.
It sounds like an N. Either way,
It's like a Vietnamese name with the Win, like the Nguyen
That
and
part.
Win. Okay.
so they're going
right.
to kick him inside. They got two great tackles. He's going to be a great guard, in my opinion. I think he would have been a good tackle. I think he could be an all-pro guard. I think he's excellent. He's a people mover. I don't think I've heard him as being nasty, but when I watch the film, he's not nasty. He's just really strong. He's got good hands, and he's got good feet, especially since he used to play tackle.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about our O-line, which is so important. It'd be hard to go within the first round and not support Dart on some level too.
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed in the first like within 10 or 11 picks, I guess 11 picks. Let's keep it there because the Cowboys traded up to 11. But I think that the NFC East drastically improved defensively,
Yeah.
like drastically, and I think what's going to happen here is that the Eagles didn't do any of that.
Right.
So I know that they were, they're having some internal. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the Eagles. To be honest, I don't know where their philosophy is going and
I
where
love
their GM is going. I really don't understand the direction of that team and
They
where
make a
they
lot
were
of
before.
trades, don't they? A lot of random trades.
Yeah, I feel like they just don't have like a plan.
Exactly.
Or if they do, they're not showing it to anyone because their plan seems to be just make random do random stuff, and
Right.
they seem like they have no direction properly. But what I thought was interesting is that the Giants significantly improved defensively, obviously with Arvell Reese. The Skins, the Commanders, significantly improved with Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys significantly improved
Yeah.
with Caleb Downs.
I mean, all three of these players.
I
in
mean,
the
those
first
are
round
studs. Like they're studs.
yeah.
And I mean, okay, I know that one player isn't going to win you a Super Bowl, especially in the NFL. Like in other sports, like the NBA,
Sure.
one player could do that for you.
Yeah.
And I know that NFL, like one player necessarily won't do that. But I feel like there's a shift in this division.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
And I think that the Giants did a really good job in the draft, especially with their first two picks at 5 and 10. But I think the other two teams improved too. I mean, if you really think about
Definitely.
what the Commanders did, their linebacking core is scary.
Luvu and Styles in the middle now.
is
That's
very
pretty
scary.
nasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a fan of Luvu. He used to be here in Charlotte. He's got a mean streak in him. He's a good, downhill, attacking the running back type defender. They have a good squad. They have some good players over there. I know that Marshawn Lattimore hasn't really worked out over there. That kind of set them back a little bit. But I think getting Styles has them going in the right direction again. Obviously, they have Daniels in place, so that gives them time. That gives them an identity. Styles.
They're gonna get
identity of their
Ayuk also at
defense.
some point. Like that's the talk around the water coolers
Right.
that Brandon Ayuk is coming to that team.
Yeah.
Debo's already there.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think the NFC East is a lot more interesting right now.
Yeah, in all honesty, I mean, if you really look around the league, right? I mean, obviously the NFC West is scary with the reigning Super Bowl champs, and then the Rams, who we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
The Niners are a perennially good team. Who's the other team in that conference?
Falcons?
No,
Nope. They're with the Bucks in this.
Well, whatever. The top
Rams,
three teams:
49ers.
Rams, Niners, Seahawks,
Where's
and
Jack? Broncos?
no,
No.
Broncos are in the AFC. No, whatever. See, that's the thing though. Like that team is not the
not the
fourth
Cardinals.
team it's the Cardinals.
Okay.
Thank you, the Cardinals. That's what it is.
Okay.
And who also added a very very good player to their team with
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Although, I don't think that team is ready yet, especially in that division in the NFC West. They're not ready yet.
Reminds me
And
of
I
when
think
the
what they're
Giants
trying
got
to do.
Barkley too soon.
And then they had to
And
obviously
then they
get
ended
rid
up
of him.
unloading him.
Yeah.
It might be a similar path to Love. But anyway.
But you know what Barkley did for the Giants, and I think
Gave
that
him
this is
an identity of sorts.
well, okay. I wasn't gonna say that, but sure.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think that he's there to sell jerseys
Yeah, right.
and bring
That's
in
true.
revenue, put people in the seats. Like if you're going to bring in a player like Love, who is not just a really really good running back,
Right.
that dude he's multi-positional on that offense right? I mean, this is what we talked about with him.
He's a weapon. He's not just a back.
Right, and when we were talking about it in the mock episode, the one person that I thought that he would benefit would be if he went number 4 to Tennessee,
Right.
and he would help Cam Ward,
Exactly.
right, and maybe he doesn't have to do the same thing in Arizona, but what he's gonna do is he's gonna be a dynamic player, like Bijan Robinson 2.0.
Right. Yeah.
Bijan he doesn't make the he makes the Falcons better.
Oh, yeah,
because their
for sure.
offense revolves basically around him, and it takes pressure off of Penix. It takes pressure off of Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
It takes pressure off of their receiving core. But I think Bijan Robinson does a great job of just being an everything player for them offensively.
For sure.
And I think that this guy Jeremiah Love can do the exact same thing, but on top of that, he will put people in the seats.
Right. And I think their quarterback is Brissett, right?
Brissett, which is very surprising that he'd be like their guy.
I know.
He's also getting like a little older. And,
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a pleasant surprise in general. You know, the fact that he was able to do as well as he did last year. He did well enough to at least be a placeholder for some future guy to come in there. But the fact that they really don't have, I mean, unless they think that he's the guy, they don't have that QB in place. They don't have other spots in place.
Right.
Arvell was there. You know, I think a guy that could.
That's who I thought they should have taken.
Right. I know it's the sexy pick. I mean, it would have been sexy to take Arvell too. I mean, look at that man. He is sexy. I mean, even as a guy, I'm able to tell that.
Okay.
I mean, he became more so to me once he became Giants. But
All right.
Anyway, I'm getting off
interesting.
the track here. But I
Do you
mean,
need
yes,
do you need like
he is
a
gonna sell
couple of ice
jerseys.
cubes, or like do you need me to fan you down, or like are you good?
I might soon. But I mean, both of them would have sold jerseys. Let's face it. I mean, if Arvell ends up as Michael Parsons, that would have sold some jerseys and would have set your team off in the right direction.
true. I'd rather buy a jersey that says Reese on the back than Bailey on the back as a Jets fan, because I think
True.
the name is cooler.
But what about Love?
I mean, that's pretty dope. Like with a red jersey.
I'm trying to think of the next
like
line of that song so I could follow that up.
A red jersey, like a red Cardinals jersey with Love on the back.
Oh,
that's
dope.
that's a
That's pretty
dope
dope.
marketing idea right there, dude. Hire me.
Right? Well, they don't need to. They already.
I know.
They already made the draft
They
pick.
already knew it. No,
So,
for
yeah,
like
I mean-
marketing,
I mean,
not as a GM, as for
I
marketing.
got you. But either way, all right. Yeah, let's cheers to that.
Yeah.
Joe the marketer. Marketing
Mar-
genius.
My girlfriend runs a marketing company, and I feel like it's rubbing off on me.
There you go. I
Yeah.
think so.
So
Well, I mean, it's not like you can like complain about the fact that you have Jeremiah Love if you're a fan of the Cardinals, if you're associated with that group. After watching the tape, I think Arvell would have been a better choice for them. Like I said, I think he's going to be successful wherever they play him.
Yeah.
The Cardinals would have had more options to like deploy him elsewhere, to move him wherever he needs to. There's no log jams anywhere.
right.
I think they made more of a short-term choice, sell jerseys type choice perhaps.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was a fan of them, I'd still be excited.
Is he Jeremiah Love? Do you think, in your opinion, we're gonna start approaching fantasy football season? Is he a first-round fantasy pick? You think?
Yes, I would say that based on the fact that
Like he has that talent coming out of college,
Well-
where he's got first-round draft fantasy draft potential.
in recent history, the way that the Cardinals have used James Conner and the way that they've used their backs, the feature back role, giving him that rock. Jeremiah Love commands the rock based on his talent, his skill set alone. Yes, I think he is a no doubt fantasy stud. It's probably going to start right from the beginning. I'm not sure. I'd have to get all the players in mind to know exactly where along that list he'd go. But yeah, I think he's a first round talent.
So,
fantasy
all right.
wise.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out ways that I can improve my fantasy team. So I may look into them. I'm going to shift the gears a little bit to my Jets, who I thought
Awesome
had
draft.
an incredibly great draft.
Yeah, man.
And, I know that Aaron Glenn didn't have the best coaching season specifically last year, but Darren Muji, as a GM, has been hitting home runs for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a fantastic job. I mean, I know that Aaron AG obviously has like a say in a lot of the players, and the cornerback Ponds that they picked in the second round.
Right.
It's funny. I don't know if you saw this or not, but during the draft, I think there was one, Mel Kiper or whoever it was, had a comp for Ponds,
Okay.
and the Jets drafted him, and they pulled up the comp, and it was Aaron Glenn.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, oh, Aaron Glenn.
That makes
Glenn
sense.
basically drafted himself, which I thought was I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. So even in the second round,
like a scrappy type guy, wasn't
yeah, like a little undersized,
he? Yeah.
but still like a very very good player.
Scrappy, sticky.
Yeah, I
tough.
think he's only like 5'8"
Yeah.
or something. But I mean, in all honesty, the Jets had no interceptions last year,
Right.
right? So it's not like he's gonna do any worse.
So let's
than
get
that.
the shortest cornerback that we
Well,
possibly can.
Listen, he's not gonna
and
do
hope
any
that he-
worse. Right?
Okay. So let's draft a guy that makes us at least not get any worse than what we are.
Listen, at worst, he is going to replicate whatever any Jets cornerback did last year, which is not much.
Shouldn't they be
At
striving
worst.
to do better than what the Jets did last year
Listen,
with
a comp
interceptions?
of Aaron Glenn is good because Aaron
Yes,
Glenn was a
it is.
very very good NFL cornerback.
Was he a guy that would get picks?
Yeah, he got
Few,
picks,
right?
but he was also
Few
like a
big
good
players.
like just a hitter.
He was also good as a
A
Texan.
good and just he was also just he was
His whole career he was good.
yeah he was just a
So,
good
yeah, it's a
coverage
good
guy in
comp.
general.
I'm just busting your balls a little.
I mean I
Because
agree
that's all I know about Pons is he's short.
that's all I know
he's
too.
like
He's
Glenn.
5'8".
Yeah.
But
How tall are you, by the way?
5'9" and a half.
Okay, you got him.
9.5.
Good for you.
So I can play cornerback in the NFL.
There you
Perfect.
go.
But I think what the Jets did in the first round specifically was fantastic. I think that they
Name the players.
so they got David Bailey at number 2. They got the tight end
Kenyon Sadiq.
Sadiq. Thank you. They got Sadiq at 16, which I think he's like a wide receiver, like a combo, like a
bowling
wide
ball.
receiver
Yeah. He
tight
looks-
end.
Yeah, he looks good.
That will definitely help. And the thing is they already have Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor, over
Mason
there,
Taylor, yeah.
who is also very athletic and also
Right.
very good.
Which made that pick a little bit of a surprise for me.
I thought it was a surprise, but I think that they're really just trying to build up as much offensive just. I mean, they
Weaponry.
they couldn't score last
artillery,
year.
I think is the right name for
Artillery,
that.
yeah,
Not
that makes
weaponry.
sense. And
Although I
then
feel like I've heard that word before.
And then they also went traded the 33rd pick and the first pick in the second round to the Niners and moved back into
Yeah.
the first round and got Omar Cooper Jr.,
Yeah, I
who
like
is
that
also
pick.
a very good pick.
I like that pick. I mean, that's a lot of added weapons on offense for one.
Yeah.
To have those two guys added to the mix.
Like I know Gino is coming in as the quarterback for 1 year, whatever. And in all honesty, the Jets also drafted a quarterback in the 4th round. They got the kid from Clemson, and I don't know if that guy is the answer. I'm guessing that he
What's his
probably
name?
isn't.
Sorry.
I can't remember his name right now.
Okay. Quarterback from Clemson.
It starts with a K. His last name starts with a K. Clintock or something like
Okay.
that. I can't remember his name. But the quarterback from Clemson, he's not the answer. I don't think. I'm not sure if his game is specifically. He's good as he'll be a good backup eventually,
Okay.
in my opinion. And you never know. Listen, we all thought Tom Brady was going to be a fucking
It's always
career
nice
backup.
to take
so
shots
you
at the
never know.
dartboard.
Yeah.
You never know what'll happen.
But those first 3 picks, I think that they rebuilt their offense really well. I mean, it's a good way for them to to pitch to Brees Hall and say, "Listen, Brees, I know that you're on a franchise tag, but hey, we're building. We got
This is
Garrett
what we got
Wilson signed
going
to a
on."
long-term deal. Like we've got these young weapons. We got Mason Taylor. We have Sadiq. We've got Omar Cooper.
Right.
Like. Dude, offensively, we're gonna be a good
Right.
team. We just have to find the right quarterback, and maybe they find that with Kyler Murray next year,
Well,
or
that's
somebody else.
That's what I was gonna say to your point, as far as being a more attractive offense. To have Sadiq in place, have Omar Cooper Jr. in place, to already have Garrett Wilson there, to have Brees Hall, that's gonna look nice for a free agent QB to
Yeah.
maybe shake free.
I mean, I know that they were talking about bringing in Kirk Cousins, which I wasn't I mean, listen, he's serviceable and he's
Right.
good. I'm not gonna say he sucks because he's good,
Right.
and he can find the open receivers. He's just a steady guy that won't lose games for you, but he won't put you over the top either.
Right.
But if you have weapons around him that can break free, like Brees, who's a home run hitter, Garrett Wilson, who's a home run hitter, Mason Taylor, who has potential to be a home run hitter.
Yeah.
A guy like that isn't terrible. And if you bring in a quarterback from a free agent pool next year, that's maybe younger than Geno.
And Geno was coming from. I mean, is it fair to say that the Raiders were fairly dysfunctional overall last year? So like he went from like a team where he was successful that had some sort of a method for success, and he did well. I know that he's not the reason, perhaps.
He was good with Seattle,
but
like,
he
did
looked
a
good
job
with them.
Seattle. Yeah.
You know, good coaching, whatever. So he goes.
The Raiders
Raiders
didn't have enough
They
pieces
were
around him
terrible.
yet.
They had Bowers, which I want to get back to him.
So they had Bowers, and they had
but-
the running back that they drafted, Genti,
Right.
last year. But
Right.
they didn't. But they
But
didn't
he's
put
new.
actual receivers around
Exactly.
him.
So like, it's a difficult group. It's a different type of offense. You know, it highlights the running back, it highlights the tight end. That's not a QB friendly sort of mix there.
Yeah.
So perhaps to go to the Jets with a guy that you and I both believe is a true number one, Garrett Wilson. He is due for a breakout. I mean, this guy is a stud.
Yeah.
He looks the part beyond belief. I don't know how many years into his career we're going to go and still wait for it because we see it there. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he is a stud.
But the thing is, it's quarterback play.
Exactly.
And the thing is if he never gets the quarterback play, it's all his career is going to be is just all potential and no actual like growth and no actual like stats behind the potential.
So if Geno,
I don't
with
want
an
that.
offensive line that has some good pieces in it,
Yeah, they do.
You know,
they
good-
drafted
good pieces.
Membu last year.
yeah,
Like,
and they're all going to be a year older. They're all young. I love the guard you guys have. I wish we got him a while ago. His name escapes me. He's a white guy. I forget his name. I love your tackles. There's some good pieces on that O-line. Good receivers, Omar Cooper Jr., Garrett Wilson, we already talked about it. Now we got tight ends, multiple tight ends, got a running back. I mean, there's literally everything there. It wouldn't be that surprising to me. In fact, I would consider him as a QB2 in fantasy world. It wouldn't be that surprising
Geno
to me if
this
Geno
year?
was a return to form on some level. Because he's a late bloomer.
he's getting a little long in the tooth, like age wise. I mean, he's
But,
like,
like-
what 36 now, 30,
But I feel
35.
like his improvements have been up here. You know, like
True.
it's too bad that like the time in which he aged properly and got a feel for how to play quarterback, it's not matching up with when his skills were as good as they were before, speed wise, athleticism, and his arm. But if he has enough of an arm, if he has enough left in whatever, how old is he?
35, I think. 35, I think.
You know, I mean, I remember when I was 30. I mean, that was more than a decade ago for me.
I felt very spry.
Really
I
fucking
yeah, I
good
felt
at
great when I was
35.
35.
I don't
12
feel
years
that bad
ago,
now,
man.
but
Oh
at
my God.
35,
Yeah.
sign me up. So,
Today,
I
like
mean,
today, I
it
would need
wouldn't
a
be that
nap before the
surprising.
game. Like,
What's that?
Like today, if I had to play a game, like I
Fuck,
need a
man.
nap.
You give me a nap, I'll fucking take on Peyton Manning. Fuck. You give me a nap.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
All
what
right.
a nap is like anymore. I don't
I
have
do.
time for naps, but you give me a nap, I feel like $1 million bucks
Yeah.
on the other side.
I
of
feel
that
like I was
shit.
35 again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, your Jets had a great draft.
I think the Jets had a really, really good draft.
There's some other teams that they had a good draft as well. I thought Bain Jr. falling all the way to the Bucks at 14 or 15.
15. Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, you,
I thought
you
that-
had him
I-
in the
listen,
top 10. I, thought
I
it
had
was a
him at
hot
number
take for me
8.
to have him outside of the top 10. I thought it was a hot take.
I had him at number 8 going to the Saints, and I actually put money that the Saints would take him at 8. I was a little. Once I
Who
saw
did the
that
Saints
one.
get there?
One. Hold on. I don't remember exactly, but they got a receiver.
Was it Tyson?
Yes, Jordan
Okay.
Tyson. Yes, that's exactly who they got.
Who was spitting up on his way out of the... I don't know if you saw that. I was like, I'm glad we didn't get him because there's a lot of smoke.
I was so
Anyway.
the way that the draft like started shaking out once Love went 3, and then once didn't Carnell Tate go number
Went 4?
4?
Yeah, that's
To
what
the
enabled us to
Titans?
get Reese, yeah.
So
That was a
right.
surprise to me.
So
man.
Carnell Tate going 4, I thought was a surprise, and
But
that
you had
is-
him early in your...
I had him 7 to the Skins.
Okay.
That's where I thought he was gonna go.
Okay.
Because we talked about him at 4. We like I remember specifically
You brought
mentioning
him
him
up
at
early
4.
as like a surprise.
But I thought it was too early because I thought that
Yeah.
they probably could have used Love in Tennessee more.
Yeah, that's impressive. You thought of him there.
I thought it was a little too early. I thought it was a little
Yeah,
bit of a
you
reach, but
called
they didn't
bro.
think it was a
I mean,
reach.
It was good.
But that is the reason why I thought that Bain would go at 8 to the Saints because of how like I had my mock draft like shaking out. and I thought that the need for the Saints was going to be
It made sense to me.
a player
based on
like him.
The retirement. Is it the retirement of the guy that's there on the edge that's been there for years?
Cam Jordan.
Yeah. Didn't he just retire?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So to me, when you made that pick on that show, it made sense to me because he's also like a good edge guy.
Yeah.
He has limit. I mean, he looks to me like a unique pass rusher. That's why I think he's able to overcome his short arms, his shorter stature. Doomerville-esque, but a little thicker. He's a short guy who's able to get after the quarterback. But what I really like about him is his ability to set the edge. I mean, he looks strong on the edge, and that's what Cameron Jordan was. He had a little bit more of a defensive end profile than the guy that they just got. But to me, they're both consummate pros.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great pick in the draft.
I love Bain. I think he's a fantastic player. There was another guy that he played with in Miami that got drafted also. He had a funky name. I can't remember him. But Miami had such a great defensive line last year. Not the Dolphins, the University of Miami. But they had they made it like pretty far into like the championships of
Right.
the college football championships, and they were fantastic. But I think that Bain slipping that far and Tampa Bay getting him was incredibly fortunate for them. I know he slipped a little bit. I think he had some off the field issues.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that led to a little bit of
Perhaps.
slippage.
Well, that and plus the fact that like his
Maybe there wasn't a need
his
for some of the
physical
teams.
profile.
Yeah.
Is a little bit limited. Short arms, shorter stature. He's a guy.
Is he your surprise? Like that fell that far?
As far as the fall, yes. But I mean, it's also explainable. But for me, when I watch him, it looks like he overcomes those limits as far as his arm's length and those things that scouts and team people that choose to run a team, the decision makers, they really go with a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
With a lot of the combine results, they go with the measurables.
Yeah.
I don't think he meets the mark there, but I think if you watch the tape, he's very unique. He's got jab steps. He looks different. He doesn't look like he's doing a formula. He looks creative. So I feel like if people were to watch that tape, which I think the Bucks watch that tape, I would be very comfortable with him in spite of those limits, his profile.
Just if I were to go with one surprise, mine would be the Chiefs trading up to get your guy Mansour.
Though I love that player.
I was when they traded up and they took him. I think I texted you, and I was also texting with Rashim and Bill, who are obviously also big Giants fans.
Yeah.
Our friends, and I was like, oh, I think the Giants were probably looking at him in 10, and that would have been a good somebody good for the Giants to take here. I was a little surprised that the Chiefs traded up in general, because I didn't know which route they were going to go when they traded up. But I mean, it does make sense for them to trade up and make that move, only because obviously they got rid of Trent McDuffie in a trade to the Rams. They also got rid of their other cornerback. I think in the same trade they got rid of two of their cornerbacks.
Okay.
They went to the Rams, and once you and I talked about Mansour, I didn't honestly know too much about him, but I watched some tape on him. I looked at him, and he's the real deal.
Looks good, right?
Like, he is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got fluid hips. He's quick. He sticks on him. He looks like he's good at zone and man coverage.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm surprised that there wasn't more talk about him a little bit, because, like, I heard a lot about your boy Sauce and a lot about the other guy who was who's before Sauce, who was a Jets.
Revis?
Yes. You heard things about that. Yes, thank you. You heard things about, well, to me that says Rev, so I don't know who that is.
Well, it's Darrell Revis.
I mean, like you just heard more about these top cornerbacks because it's so important to have a cornerback. But it seemed like, there was the big athletes at the top and the edge rushers, Arvell and Bailey, and, and, like, Mansour was, considered to be, like, back end of a top 10, as far as, like, he was at the back end of mine at 10 to my G-men. That was, like, a dream. That would be a dream to have that other guy. But, I mean, honestly, I wanted to have Mansour. I wanted to have Sonny Styles. I wanted to have Caleb Downs. I'm happy to have Arvell Reese. I really wanted Malioga, so I mean, if only we were able to trade Kayvon for 3 more first-round
If
picks,
only
it would've
Joe
been great.
Shane had the balls to
I
make
know.
picks and make trades.
So I'm happy we ended up with two of those guys,
Yeah.
but that's my.
Giants
thing
have a
about the
good
Giants.
future ahead of them. I think
Yes.
that they have like it's finally like you can finally see, and they have the right coach in place.
Right.
They have like Scatterbo coming back.
Right.
They have Malik coming
And
back.
I'm not trying to hijack the convo away from the Jets.
No, I think we were done with the Jets talk anyways. I'm happy.
We were talking about Mansour.
Mansour, I think
Yes.
that was my surprise for the
It
draft.
was a great pick. You know what really surprised me? And I'm sure it surprised everybody, but we haven't brought it up yet, was that pick of the quarterback by the Rams.
Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson. They must see something in him.
They traded up
Yeah.
to 15 to get him.
Did they have to do that?
I mean, they're looking. So he's gonna sit.
I guess
he's
if
obviously
you're-
gonna sit.
Well, I guess if you're sold on him, and like you think that you have the Jackson Dart of this draft, you know,
See, the
and
thing
so you don't want to run the risk that other teams might be like kind of looking at quarterbacks and came across that same tape you did and just fell in love.
I don't
the
know,
way
man.
That they did.
So Ty Simpson was already. He was one of those players that it's like very debatable of where he was gonna go. He was either gonna be a second round pick or he was gonna be a first round pick.
Yeah.
But nobody knew where he exactly fell into like that you know that I don't know the
Spectrum or
yeah, thank
whatever.
you. That's the word I'm looking for. The spectrum of like between like the middle of the first round and the middle of the second round, and you have to think about like which teams needed a quarterback. And in all honesty, the Rams didn't need a quarterback.
But there's been talk about like some sort of a handoff at some
But there's
point.
gonna be a handoff, and like and it does make sense. And now hindsight being 2020, now you look at that pick for the Rams at 15, and they traded up to get him. But if you look at that pick, you're thinking, you know what? Like I think maybe Stafford's got like a year or 2 years left in him, and this is about to start becoming a Malik Willis and Aaron Rodgers type of situation, or a Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers type of situation, where they're gonna maybe start thinking about doing that same route and letting a quarterback sit for not just 1 year but multiple years,
Right.
and letting them learn and like and run some plays with the first team during OTAs and during like some practices, letting Ty Simpson run with the first team and seeing what he's
Right.
got, and letting him develop over like a couple of years.
Right.
I don't know how much time Matt Stafford has left. It might be a year, maybe 2 years, but they are still a Super Bowl contender now.
Right.
And they may be a Super Bowl contender for like 2 more years.
Right.
Because they have really good players on both sides of the ball.
So it's almost not even a debate that if you take the quarterback now, you are taking away from your chances to win within those next 1 to 2 years.
But also you are building for the future. Like this is like,
Why not just put it all chips in for now?
listen, this is actually something that I was going to do as a YouTube short and a TikTok at some point. I was going to
gotcha.
talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder as a dynasty at
gotcha.
some point, and like how they have so many first round picks coming up, and I still will do that as a TikTok because I think that that's an interesting topic. But I feel like maybe they're kind of taking some of that Oklahoma City Thunder playbook, the Rams, right? Like where they're looking to the future while they still have this current window open to make a dynasty and just have
don't
a run. Like the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers are doing the same thing, right? They keep getting all these great players. They keep making trades.
But
like,
they might not
you know.
ever like get enough for Stafford. Has Stafford won the Super Bowl? Oh yeah, they won once. One.
They be the Patriots,
Yes.
13-3.
So, I mean, I don't know. It almost seems like if I were them, I would almost like put it all on the line for now. There's a lot of good players to take there. But that's also based on the fact that...
But are they really one first round pick away from a championship, or can they just sign that person in free agency?
I'm not... All right. So when I look at when it comes to the quarterbacks in the first round, I know it's crazy. I know it's like maybe short-sighted, but they have to have a certain attitude to them. They have to talk a certain way. They have to have a certain charisma to them. I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say as a Giants fan because we got Mr. Ora himself, at least in my opinion.
Mr. Ora went to the Eagles.
Who's that?
Lemon, with his fucking Stevie Wonder fucking face.
Yeah, but have you really ever heard him?
No, he just sounds like an idiot.
I
But anyways.
didn't want to say
Have you seen all his like social media stuff about
No.
he's being roasted about like his
No, but I've seen him. I've listened to him, and I'm happy that he's.
I'm gonna have to show you this after
As
the
a
show.
Giants fan, I'm happy he's an Eagle.
Just look
Let
him
me
up.
just say that.
All right, just look him up after
I'm glad,
the show.
I'm glad he's not a Giant.
Look him up after, and just look at his as soon as he got drafted, and just he's getting fucking crushed on social media.
Good.
For what
I
a
hope it
douche
ruins
he
his
fucking
career and
looks
the
like.
Eagles suck forever. But Ty Simpson seems a little bit more like Daniel Jones than Eli Manning. Eli Manning is a Super Bowl winner, so I'll throw that in there.
You think he looks like more like Daniel Jones?
Not looks like the vibe I get. I don't get leader of men vibe from Ty Simpson. I mean, I really didn't get that from Eli either, but Eli was able to pull it off. I just feel like that's just I feel like we really threaded a needle there with Eli. Something that really won't be pulled off often. The odds are in your favor. I mean, we already talked about it before. He was never a fantasy sought-after quarterback.
No, never, yeah.
Yet he won 2 of them for us. What he did in the postseason is a little bit different than what he did in the regular season. He's a legend. He's still got a career going.
He's still got a jacket. He's still got a Hall of Fame jacket.
He's awesome. I love Eli. But it's not like Phillip Rivers was in that draft. Roethlisberger was in that draft. It's not like I would necessarily, still knowing how good each of them are respectively, necessarily say that that's the guy who I think is going to be the best out of these 3, let alone anyway. I don't know about Ty Simpson, man. To me, you have to carry yourself like Dart. You have to be commanding some respect right from the jump. You have to be Joe Burrow.
You think you
have to be Peyton Manning?
You think their
the
personalities?
Other
You think their personality? His
I
personality
think
just doesn't fit.
I think it does. Well, if you say it doesn't fit,
not fit,
it's,
but
it's not fit
it's
for,
not a
for,
first
for
round
the
pick.
franchise. It's just perhaps I haven't seen enough. But to me, it just seems like there's a little bit more.
But Andrew Luck didn't have that type of personality. He was a quieter
but he knew
kind
who
of
he
guy.
was. I don't know, because I'm getting a psychological profile here. I just feel like
This should be a
I don't know.
CBS, a CBS primetime show here.
Aaron
NFL
Rodgers.
quarterback psychology.
There you go.
Fucking profiler.
I don't agree with a lot of Aaron Rodgers stuff. I used to be a huge fan of his game. I loved his game.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got to know more about the person Aaron Rodgers, I don't really like him.
Yeah.
But he has a certain thing about him that I trust.
That Hollywood actresses love.
Sure. But that I trust his makeup as a leader of a franchise, at least in his earlier years when he had the skill set and everything. I don't agree with him on many topics or things. I don't think he's a great dude or make a great dad or whatever.
Okay.
I know I'm cutting close.
Aaron Rodgers is not a good dad.
But apart from that, in his younger years when he was a Packer, and just knowing his makeup, I believe in that. Ty Summers, on the other hand, probably
Ty
is
Simpson,
a great,
but
probably is a great dad. Eli, great dad. Daniel Jones, great dad. Great quarterback of a franchise. I don't know if he's got that sort of mental toughness.
Yeah.
He just seems like a certain way where
Yep.
Anyway.
All right. I mean you make a very valid point for why Ty Simpson shouldn't have been a first round
And it's
quarterback.
that position specifically, I think, where I just really dive
But he's
into
got.
that
But
aspect
the thing
of
is,
it.
this
That's
is what
based on the trauma I've had as a Giants fan.
But listen, this is what we were just saying when we started this topic on Ty Simpson specifically, because I do think that he is probably his draft by the Rams at 15 was probably the biggest surprise of the entire first round.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you do make a valid point. But the thing is with a quarterback in place already for at least the next 1 to 2 years, he has plenty of time to become something else. Living in LA, becoming more of a personality or whatever it is.
Absolutely right.
He's got time to sit, and the thing is do you remember? I mean, you remember this because we're almost the same age, and so what it was like watching Aaron Rodgers kind of waste. You felt like he was wasting his career away on the bench.
Yeah.
And we've also felt like
On the bench
Malik
Packers.
Willis was wasting his career away on the bench. Not Malik Willis. I'm sorry. Jordan Love was wasting his career away on the bench, right?
Oh yeah.
He sat on the bench for 3 years, 4 years before they got rid of Rodgers and he went to the Jets, and then Jordan Love got a chance to become the guy in Green Bay. And maybe the Rams are trying to build something similar to that same type of of a franchise where they have like young quarterbacks who maybe they feel like aren't like as developed when they take them out. I mean, listen, Rodgers came out of the draft at pick number 24 in the first round, right? So not like probably he wasn't like the first or second probably quarterback in that draft, and I have to go back and look up to see who was drafted before him quarterback wise in that draft, but he got picked at pick number 24, and then he sat on the bench for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
that's
this
like a
may
double
be a
dose
very
of
similar-
hurry up and wait.
Yeah, but this may be similar. And
Right.
Jordan Love, same thing. He got drafted in the
Waited.
first round also, and sat on the bench for 3 or 4 years.
It almost seemed like they really didn't believe in him. Like, it almost, because he was there for so long, it almost seemed like he's not really that good, so we're not really to expose him yet. But once he got exposed, yeah, he's had warts, sure. He's a little, but he is, I mean, he's a solid quarterback for sure.
All right, before we end the show here, I'm gonna make one bold prediction, and this is like for I don't even know what this is for. It's like for some future something, but Trey Lance. I know we talked about him. I know this is a
Okay.
very random player to bring up here.
Where is he right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
Dallas, San Francisco,
So
somewhere.
what you're about to bring up has nothing to do with where he's playing.
No, I still believe in him, and this is I feel like this is a little bit of a hot take, only for the fact that like he was the third quarterback picked in the draft, and he got drafted number 3. He has never been given a chance to play. If he was just given a chance to thrive in an offense for one entire season as QB1, I think that guy has some potential.
Well, I mean, it kind of, you had me thinking about the fact that maybe the emergence of Brock Purdy so early on, and like in juxtaposition, in camp and through the preseason and stuff, just kind of put him down the boards for that specific team in the Niners, and he just kind of stayed down there. But he was traded. Did he go to the Vikings?
So
If a quarterback has to improve, they got to go to the Vikings. You got to have some O'Connell in your life.
It's possible, and speaking of the Vikings, I know we're about to wrap it up here, but like I really don't see JJ McCarthy being the answer there at all. And I know they got Kyler Murray. I really like. There's something about JJ McCarthy's game that I don't like, and I don't think that he's the answer there. And to be honest, he's on a path to becoming a backup journeyman, like a Mac Jones type. Maybe he'll be like a good backup
if he's lucky. I mean, he might end up being a.
He's got Mac Jones written all over him. Mac Jones, by the way, I feel like he's got one more shot at a starting job at some point because of what he's proven in the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, yes, he's shown something. McCarthy, I think, so far with, I don't know, the fact that he has McConnell, the fact that he has Jefferson, he's not able to, like, really. I mean, I know his first year he was injured and everything, so you got to give him a little bit more of a run, but.
And listen, Sam Darnold balled his ass off with those same players.
Right.
And then McCarthy, and they specifically did not re-sign. The Vikings did not re-sign Darnold because they had J.J. McCarthy there, and then Darnold goes off and wins the fucking Super Bowl.
But how could they have both of those players there and not see the difference?
They still believe in the younger guy.
That's surprising.
The crazy
or is
thing,
it ego that makes them hold on to the person they drafted?
Maybe. I think it could also be because I think that that Darnold was probably looking for like a bigger contract, like money.
Sure.
So maybe they were like, oh, it's McCarthy's second year. He was hurt the first year. Like maybe we'll give him a chance.
Yeah.
But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, Darnold took them to a 14-3 record.
Yeah.
And took them to and I know he lost in like the first round of the playoffs or whatever it was.
Franchise him.
But I mean, a 14-3 record.
Franchise the dude. See what the hell you have in McCarthy. First, he was injured the whole year, and he probably didn't show shit before that.
Yeah.
He is who he is as a person, and I'm not that impressed.
I was. I know we're getting off on a different tangent here from the draft, but like I was so happy for Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl. Like he was an ex-Jet.
That's impressive since he's a Jet. He's a former Jet.
Listen,
y'all drafted him.
My 3 favorite teams, right? Like so, when I first moved to America, I was a huge Niners fan. That's because that's who like was prominent at the time, and that's how like I got into the NFL. But then like I started going to Jets games because I lived in that area, and like one of my buddies had season tickets for the Jets, so I started becoming a Jets fan, which I like. Alan
Regret?
Lerner, if you're watching this fucking show, fuck you for turning me into a Jets fan. I hate you.
It is regret.
Like I hate it, but I have been a Jets fan for like 30 years or whatever it's been, and like it's all Alan's fault.
I'm glad to know a Jets fan.
Yeah, it sucks. And then but I've also lived here for 20 years
Right.
in Charlotte, right? And like I have grown to love the Panthers also. And so I'm a Jets fan first, a Niners fan like 1A, and a Panthers fan. And I hate people that flip-flop like that.
Yeah, but you've always been that same situation. You've always been Jets 1, Niners a close second,
Yeah.
and the Panthers, you definitely
Yeah,
vibe
I have
with
season
Panthers.
tickets. Like my
Yeah,
girlfriend has
man.
season tickets. Like we go to a lot of games. Like I support the team.
Yeah.
Like I love the team.
You're not like
whatever.
a bandwagon person or anything.
Sam Darnold through his career got drafted by the Jets,
Right.
went to Carolina,
Yeah.
went to the Niners, went
Yeah.
to my 3 teams.
That's surprising he went to the Niners and like
And he didn't do a
They sent him out.
fucking thing for any of them.
Right.
And then went to Seattle, a rival for the Niners, and won a Super Bowl there.
Darren Bevel, is that who that is? Who's
Daryl Bevel.
Clint Kubiak.
Daryl Bevel is the offensive coordinator,
Okay.
and then Clint Kubiak is the
Okay.
the head coach there. But I mean, I love Sam Darnold. I'm so happy for him. And you know what the thing about Sam Darnold is that he's still super fucking young.
Right.
He's still
How
only
young
like
is he?
27.
I remember he was very young when he came out.
Like he's still young.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good years left.
And he looks like I mean,
Look
the
at that
Jets
franchise.
fucked up, the Panthers fucked up, the
Yeah.
Niners fucked up.
Look,
Well, then maybe the Niners didn't because they have Brock Purdy, but like
Right.
the Panthers and the Jets like completely,
Yeah.
and the Vikings,
Yeah.
they all completely misread the situation.
And now the Seahawks are sitting pretty. They got a quarterback for the future. For now,
Yeah.
for the future, they already have a dub in
Yeah.
as far as like the Super Bowl is concerned. They got
Yeah.
a great defense.
He
They-
turned
they-
JSN
they look
into a
good for
guy that was
while.
going to have 2,000 yards almost this year.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
crazy.
So now they just got to add more pieces to keep it going.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I love Sam Darnold. Well, Rambo, thanks,
Yeah,
bud.
man. Of course.
All right, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in to episode 12. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Let us know what you thought about the NFL draft and what you think about the Boston Red Sox firing Alex Cora. Leave a comment on the Spotify page, under JNR Sports Lounge.
Yes, sir.
Also on YouTube under JNR Sports Lounge. You can also find us on TikTok under JNR Sports Lounge. I feel like I'm having to say the same name all over again. But hit us up on TikTok also. Give us a follow there. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in for episode 12, and we'll see you guys soon. All right.
JNR Sports Lounge.